Flint. our car off the line and into the trees.
Main thing is both you and Joni are okay, yeah?
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, what an impact that one rock has made. All change, of course, in the overall standings. Ogier now leads and set to take a second Finland win. Neuville up to second, and they get more points to remember with Rovanperä losing the 18 penciled in from Saturday. Mo on for a fourth podium of the year. In the Super Sunday standings, it's also all change. Ogier now leads the way, 4 tenths up on Esa-Pekka Lappi, who Katsuta 4 for Neuville, 2.9 off the leader. So many talking points from this barely believable final morning. Back at the Jyväskylä service park, meanwhile, you've got to spare a thought for the team principals, who've clearly had something of a stressful morning.
Kai, it's hard to put into words what's just happened. Just incredible, unfortunate luck out there for Kalle. It's difficult to take on board.
Yeah, it was a huge disappointment, obviously, losing 2 cars on the same stage on Sunday. But what can you say?
And there's been lots of conversations about the car. I think now we're seeing each team having similar problems. It is more out there in Finland just so difficult rather than specifically the handling of the car. What is your take on this?
You know, if I had a perfect tech, probably we would not have had the problem that we had. I think we are still trying to understand exactly. I think when situation are the grip level is low, and when also the grip is changing, there is big variation in the course of a stage, corner by corner, as we saw yesterday and the day before. It's tricky. It's very tricky for everyone, but I think it's a bit more trickier for a car which is a bit picky. So I think today the grip is a bit more stable. It's not super high, but it's a bit more stable, and I think that increased the confidence level. Also, I think the setup that we gave finally to EP are also going in his direction. So it's helping, but it's still very tricky as we could see. I mean, the mistake, I mean, Elfin and Kelly are great drivers, but it's very tricky. Credits also to our, rookie team, which was able also to take pictures, and, the rock probably that Kelly found, we had it on our picture. So our drivers were informed. It made or not a difference, I don't know, but at least this sort of duty of information was properly fulfilled, so hats off to them.
With the obvious, we've obviously just seen Calle's crash there. You had this with Greg and you've repaired the car. It just shows how difficult it is out there in Finland.
Rally's never over till it's over, and I feel incredibly sorry for the whole of the Toyota team. Actually, they were just showing us how good they are in their home event, and it's such a shame to see what happened. And I think even worse for Kalle, because there's nothing really he could have done to avoid what happened there. But it's what rallying is, and we've found ourselves at the moment with one stage to go on the podium, which is fantastic for us. Not something we expected this morning, but we have to be very happy with what's going on as our performance. We know we've just constantly been trying to keep in touch and trying to progress and improve over the weekend. But to take the position in the way we have is always a tough one, because the other guys are doing such a good job. But like I say, rallying's not easy.
Yeah, I think Rich has nailed it on the head there. Rallying certainly not easy, but let's take a breath then and prepare for one last stage. Another pivotal moment potentially in this something of an unpredictable title race. So the Laajarvuori stage will host our Wolf Power stage then, and again with those 2 Toyotas out, the bonus points on offer for Super Sunday and the top 5, remember, in this stage. Absolutely critical for the remaining crews in all championships, of course. So let's remind ourselves of what we have in store. The Laajarvuori stage returning to the Finnish schedule. First time since 2011, when it both opened and closed the rally. And in this loop through, we will go for 2 loops of the circuit to double the length to just under 9 kilometres. It's tighter than more technical than your traditional Finland stage. Up and over a steep hill in this ski area. Softer surface as well than much of the event, which could be key in here. And the weather, thankfully, has remained dry on this final leg, probably for the best on what's already been a dramatic morning. As mentioned, it's a softer surface than most of the rally, so lots of cleaning in the first pass, and remains to be seen how rutted this may be in places. Sun shining, which is nice to see. And let's just take a look at our start list then. As always in the power stage, we'll get going with our lead Rally 2 runners, starting Nikolai Gryzin, then come a group of Finns who've been looking really strong, as always, in the WRC 2 class. Jari-Matti Latvala making a welcome return, but Oliver Solberg set for back-to-back wins to extend his hold on the championship lead. Meanwhile, Gregoire Munster making a welcome return to action. Great work from the M Sport team to get that car repaired after a big off, as we saw earlier yesterday, all the way down to, well, there's only, what have we got now, 7 Rally 1 cars left after what's been something of an eventful morning, let's say, Chenny. I mean, we'll watch Nikolai away off the start, but I think we just need to take a moment as we see him off the line and just absorb what on earth has just happened.
Yeah, I'm kind of still lost for words, PK. You know, we all witnessed what happened to Elfyn Evans at the start of the previous stage, right at the very first corner. You know, that basically showed his intent. Elfyn was really going for a big push straight away. Is that raining? It's raining out there.
I think talk about commentators' curse. It actually works on weather as well, it seems.
So we knew that there was the possibility of rain in the second loop. So yeah, the rain arriving as well. So the Rally 1 drivers will be desperate to get into this stage before the road really breaks up, because it's naturally quite a soft surface, much softer than we see out on the other stages. It's a very different type of stage. It's much more technical type twist. It's not fast and flowing. We've been spoiled with all the other stages here in Finland. But coming back to what you were saying, Elfyn Evans, yeah, into turn 1, throws the car off, and it showed his intent that he was really going to be on a big push through there. I'm absolutely gutted for Elfyn. It's just a weekend that's gone from bad to worse for him, but the pace was absolutely there. Incredibly unlucky. And then, of course, Kalle Rovanperä, as you said, just... You've got one Toyota parked off the road right at the start of the stage and go right to the end of the stage, as Kalle said, literally the last proper corner of the stage, and he's thrown it off as well. And a complete passenger. You know, the rock was in the line, he hit it, and it just lifted the front of the car up and fired him off into the trees. There was nothing he could do at all, but it has turned this rally completely on its head, and Kalle Rovanperä will have to wait again before potentially getting another opportunity to try and win his home event.
Well, and the whole nation, of course. It's been 7 years, isn't it, since Esa-Pekka Lappi claimed that victory. It's been a long wait. They're so used to dominating their home events. All those the Marcus Gronholm years feel like a long time ago now, don't they? But anyway, Nikolai Gryzin, remember, not nominated to score points. We're talking about it a little bit earlier on. It feels like the rain, it's just on that one side of the hill, isn't it? Strange. Yeah, not nominated, but now with 4 rounds remaining, I think that means, if my calculations correct, he does need to now be scoring points in every single round. It's Greece, the Acropolis rally next, then Chile, then 2 tarmac rounds to finish, and he'll be playing catch-up. I think as it stands, assuming Oliver comes through here safely, he'll take a nice 28-point lead, will the Swede, into the final 4 rounds. But there's our first man through the Wolf Power stage, 5:42.8 for Gryzin.
Nikolai will be glad to get to the end of this rally. He's struggled. He just hasn't been able to get the car dialed into where he wants to be. He's tried all sorts. The team have tried all sorts and have basically used this weekend as a bit of a glorified testing session. I still don't think they're quite where they want to be, but they have gathered a huge amount of data. And Nikolai will now go on to the Acropolis rally. Very different style of event to Rally Finland, isn't it? So hopefully they can get that car working for him and he can start bagging those all-important championship points.
Let's hear from him.
It looked like it can be a challenging power stage with some raindrops starting to fall. For your part, not scoring points this weekend, but it's looking like a solid top 5 finish for the Rally 2 go.
Yeah, like my friend says, it's every time top 5 for us, unfortunately. Yeah, but I was not even trying to push this stage because we tried to make some changings on the roll bar on the rear, and it was not possible to fix the roll bar itself, so we drive without anti-roll bar on the rear. So the car was undrivable. It just was fun driving because the rear just was everywhere. I have to speak with the team about it, seriously. But now I just really heading to the some burger and Red Bull and close at my room number and watching some series and waiting for the flight tomorrow at home.
I think that pretty much sums up his weekend, doesn't it?
That's very kind of Nikolai to give us a blow-by-blow account of what a Sunday evening's like for... I'll tell you what, Nikolai, you're missing out. There's some party in this town on Sunday nights. I can speak from experience over the years.
Very true.
That's brilliant. I mean, he's a character, isn't he? And it'd be great to see him back in point-scoring action in Greece. Now, Rupert Korhonen, meanwhile, I just can't get over that. Yeah. Oh, did he actually tell us the specific film he's going to watch as well? I mean, it's a very detailed description, wasn't it?
What was interesting is he's come through the stage without the rear anti-roll bar connected. That's what he was saying, and that will have made for a very lively car. Although sometimes in the wet you want to soften everything up anyway. So I mean, you'd never go on one of these cars as far as completely disconnecting it. But yeah, not ideal for Nikolai. As he said, he's been trying all sorts throughout the weekend. Still hasn't got the car dialed in. Pretty despondent.
Yeah, so Rupert Korhonen, the local driver, of course, a couple of details there on the history of this place. Yeah, 73rd edition, remember, this week, and it is part of our founding fathers, let's call them, from 51 years ago, aren't we, to 1973. The fastest rally on the WRC calendar, and if the stats follow on, oh, no. Well, it was Rovanperä. I've just suddenly realised that we'll have to check Ogier's average speeds.
Yep.
If our technical or mathematic geniuses who worked out we were on for what was going to be the fastest ever WRC event in terms of average speed. That was for Rovanperä. We'll now have to check if Ogier's pulling out his end of the bargain as well. Meanwhile, Korhonen, 6th place in WRC2. Great weekend again for the locals in our leading support category, Jenny.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Rupert's shown some real flashes of pace, hasn't he? You know, I think it was a reasonably slow start to the rally for him. You can see those are those ruts we're talking about, and they're just going to get worse and worse, particularly with the rain falling. But yeah, it was a bit of a slow start to the rally for Rupert, but no question that the pace has built as the weekend has progressed, and we've kind of seen that with every event that he's come to. You know, just builds on the pace, builds on the confidence, and come the end of the rally, he's absolutely there or thereabouts pace-wise, and that's what we've seen. So a good weekend for him at home, and the key thing is it's another rally under his belt, and the car has behaved itself, and he crosses the line now, and that's.
A little bit of a nibble on the...
You don't want to hit those because those are concrete and bolted down, so they don't move.
Yeah, I mean, he would have bounced over the finish line if he had.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, he survives. 5:38.6, 4.1 quicker than Grierson. Remember, Rally 2, WRC2 don't score Wolf Power Stage points this year, but that is a top 6 finish on his home events. Meanwhile, just ahead on the leaderboard, Bjorn Lindemark of Estonia.
Rupert, well done. Your home rally is completed. A top 6 finish in WRC2. How do you feel about your progress this weekend?
Yeah, this was difficult. There was really full lane some places, but yeah, quite good weekend. Of course, we lost because we had puncture, but otherwise our pace was quite good. So yeah.
Really good pace, particularly for Olympia yesterday. Yeah,
I know. So Georg Lindemark as well. We mentioned it a couple of times, but you see, this is taste that wide shot of how great one for the fans. This, as you can see, looks streaming all the way up the hill. It is a ski resort. Obviously, this is probably I'd say a blue or red run coming down the hill there in the winter. But yeah, that uphill climb there, and you could saw from that heli shot as well just how close we are to Jyväskylä, just off in the distance there. Yeah, Georg, he had a big old moment at the first run through the mighty...
Run wide there.
Yeah, Mahin part. It's pretty slick, isn't it? You can look at him opposite block. It had to rain on this last stage, didn't it? I mean, it just about sums up the whole weekend. I mean, it's never remember a rally to have this much drama with Tanak. Feels like a week ago when he went off on, what was it, the second stage of Friday.
You lose on that shot how steep the hill is.
Yeah.
You know, Georg actually just dropped the gear going up the hill. It's really, really a steep climb up the hill. And we lose the gradient on the camera. It just flattens it out a little bit, but it's a really, really steep climb up that hill. And then...
up and down the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, Georg, as he mentioned, he's just ahead of Korhonen for another top 5 results for the Estonian. claimed the victory on home soil when Estonia, of course, switching to European competition. It's back on the calendar for next year in the WRC. The announcement just made a couple of days ago, actually, of our 2025 calendar. Very exciting additions, like Paraguay and, of course, Saudi Arabia, a return to the Middle East to wrap up next year's championship. But yeah, he won Estonia a couple of weeks back, and he's on for another top 5 finish. And I think his third top 5 finish, Linamar, is another one of this sort of second tier, isn't he, of this level, this category?
Yeah, he's not knocking on the door of Oliver Solberg's pace just yet, but you know, every time we've seen him this year, PK, he has gone from strength to strength. He's been getting faster and faster. The confidence as well is growing. You know, took a ERC victory not just a few weeks ago, and you know, the pace is absolutely getting better and better. It's going in the right direction. Funny incident as well between Rupert Korhonen and Georg Linnemeier in the regroup earlier. Korhonen slapped his Yaris into reverse and went straight back into the front of Georg's car. So doesn't look like there's any damage at all, but yeah, the pair of them crashing into each other in regroup.
Looking good in here as well in the power stage. 4.8 up at that last split, and he finishes 5.4 up on Korhonen with a 5:33.2, and great that he's got to the finish with the top 5 results. As mentioned, he was almost on his roof in Mahimpa on Friday morning, but he does live to achieve this top 5 result. Mikko Heikkilä, another really strong weekend, although he's a bit frustrated. A few technical problems as well along the way have stunted his hopes for a podium finish. He's kept on fighting though. Let's hear from Georg.
Yeah, well, that's quickest through by more than 5 seconds in there. You know, this weekend in WRC2, it's a top 5 finish for you as well. What are the highlights? I'm sure winning the Onenpoja stage is one of them.
Yeah, I think that is the highlight. I mean, otherwise, okay, it hasn't been our weekend, but yeah. Considering the crash we had on Friday, we're very, very lucky to be here. We have to take the 5th position with a, you know, good, positive attitude, and yeah, I would say big thanks to the team, and big thanks to Toyota for building such a strong car. We really, really put it to the test this weekend.
Yeah, they did indeed. Another Toyota driver. Yeah, Heikkilä, I mean, I guess he'll be a bit frustrated. He's giving it a go here, Chenny. He's starting this stage, what is he, 6.9 off podium, and it's a big ask, really, isn't it? But he's obviously been, you know, and especially after finishing second in Latvia, he'd have wanted at least a podium on his home event, but he's been hampered by a few technical gremlins, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's what's slowed him. His pace has been really good, actually. Mikko Heikkilä has shown really good pace this weekend. It's just not come together. As he said, he's had some technical issues. Lauri Juna has just been really, really consistent. And as you say, to try and buy 6.9 seconds in this stage is quite a big ask. I think you can see from the attitude of the car that he is really trying. He certainly hasn't given up yet. And he's 1.5 seconds up on Georg Linnemeier at 4.5 kilometres. But to try and get yourself the best part of 7 seconds back on this stage is too much to ask. Lauri Juna would need to have something go wrong now. But listen, there's lots of positives this man can take away from this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a rear diff issue, wasn't it, that hampered him all the way through yesterday. Just a reminder of our former winners here. You can see Seb Ogier down there, 2013, potentially 11 years later. He might be maybe about to get his second. Let's not count our chickens just yet, though. But yeah, Heikkilä, I mean, he's an ERC regular in the European competition. He almost won right at the beginning of the year in Hungary, and a wheel sheared itself off in bizarre circumstances. He's arguably had more success when he's come into WRC2 this year than he has in ERC. I mean, he came in at the start of the year, I think it's fair to say, hoping on the pace he's had to fight for the championship. It's just not happened for him in European competition. But boy, he's made some real eye-catching displays here in WRC2, and more than proving that he belongs at this level. He came 5th in Sweden, 2nd in Latvia, and looks like at the moment just about to miss out on a podium finish on his home event.
And I think he'll be disappointed with it because the pace, he's good enough, he's quick enough to have have slapped that Toyota Yaris onto the podium and been spraying some champagne this weekend. But as you said, just technical gremlins, and that's nothing that he's done. So, as I said, lots of positives he can take from it, and showed phenomenal pace in Latvia, didn't he? As he just approaches the end of the stage now, it will be quicker than Georg Linnemeier, considerably so.
Yeah, Häkkilä through, a really strong finish then. He's done what he can then. He'll kick the pressure, won't he, on his compatriot Jonna. 4.8 seconds quicker than Linnemeier. That's a pretty good effort in a stage that's under 9 kilometers long. Nice close-up view of those. It's like that fan is trying to stare out competition with our cameraman there, wasn't it? I'm a little bit frightened, Jenny.
End of the rally. The gap between you and Larry, 6.9 seconds, but you're quickest through by almost 5 seconds. So it looks like you gave it a bit of a go just in case.
Yeah, I tried. I gave everything. It was quite clean run, but that was like full attack for, in my opinion. Very unfortunately, very unlucky weekend again for us. Yesterday fighting with the rear diff. Basically, I did all what I can, but we were still losing. And thanks to the team, they fixed the rear diff. But today morning, with the oil on the windscreen, I couldn't do any more. But that's how it is now.
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, he had that oil issue, didn't he, earlier today as well. I mean, the fact that it's a double loop, though, Chenny. I mean, well, we got first split then coming in, 3.3 kilometres. Jonna, oh no, second split now, 4.5. It's only 0.8 of a second, so as it stands,
it's not doable. And
yeah.
Nico,
he'll know that.
Was clearly disappointed there because, as I said, it's not through anything he's done. As we look at Jari-Matti Latvala preparing himself to go into, he is taking this weekend so seriously. Yes, he's here to enjoy himself, but he has taken it, he's approached it so seriously, and hey, it's brilliant, you know, heading for a second place result.
He's just giving me flashbacks. He's obviously mentally reminding himself the route. It's just giving me flashbacks of really that, you know, we ask sometimes the drivers come in, we want to get a stage description for our TV live stages, and you'd ask Jari-Matti, give us a quick description, what's that stage like? He would give you a corner by corner by corner. I was like, Jari-Matti, I just needed 15 seconds. He gives you like a 2-minute description. It is incredible to watch, and he's still got that competitive spirit. It's great to see. But let's focus on Jonna right now then. 0.8 down. So he's looking good for another podium finish and a first at this level, I think, on the home soil. I think he's done it in WRC 3 potentially. Yeah, he won here, sorry, WRC 3 a couple of years back. And that would be, if he can hold on, yeah, second podium of the year. He got that podium, didn't he? And that's that eventful Portugal round that Jan Solans won. Does it feel like the rain's easing up a little bit?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's coming down so hard, does it? Which is a good thing. I have to say as well that the surface is I mean, it's rutted and it's not an ideal surface, but it's less so than I thought it was. But going back to what Cyril Abiteboul was saying at the start of the show, during his interview, just giving the engine a little bit of a buzz there, just probably not the best gear selection. He was in that kind of no man's land between whether or not he needed third or fourth.
3.5 now. I mean, it's going to be closer than I thought.
I'm sure he'll still be fine, but he was in that no man's land there, whether or not he needed third or fourth, and sort of selected both of them. He went third, gave the engine a bit of a buzz, pulled fourth again. But yeah, going back to what Cyril was saying, you know,
the rock.
Well, I was going to talk about the inconsistencies in the grip levels and everything else, and you know, this stage, in some places you've got reasonable grip, in other places it is really rutting up, and then you've got the differences in tarmac as well, and sealed surface. So he's going to be fine.
Yeah, 4.3. So he's secured it, but only by a couple of seconds. So yeah, that's 2.6 you can see on the left of your screen. So Häkkilä just missing out, but it is still another Finn who takes that podium place, and this is another pair of Finns who are just ahead, so make it a double Finn finish podium. But Häkkilä, yeah, just missing out by that 2.6 seconds then. Let's hear from Larry. Great moment.
Lowry, congratulations. You held on to it, but only by 2.6 seconds overall between the two of you. How does it feel to take a podium at your home rally?
Yeah, of course, it's really nice feeling. First of all, thanks to all of my sponsors and who are involved in this. Yeah, it has been a really tricky Sunday to push really hard. Mikko has been a very good pace, so we have to push also. But yeah, we have to be really happy.
Yeah, they do, as do this pairing. It's been great to have Jari Matti back, hasn't it? But interesting in that last stage, we don't think they were aware. They obviously knew about Elvin, but we don't think they knew when he got to the finish that they're obviously Jari Matti, normally the Toyota team boss. And
I put my house on it, they didn't know, because they got to the end and Jari Matti, and they'd just driven past Kalle's car but didn't know it was there. I'm not sure who was holding the OK board, but they got to the end and they were both laughing, having enjoyed the stage and everything, so they did not know that Kalle was off at that point. Obviously, Jari Matti will be very disappointed, but he's got his own job to do now. There's a really tricky little right-hander coming down the hill. There's a bail on the outside. And twice now I've seen Heikkilä and Jari Matti getting very, very close to that. Just got to keep our eye on that section. It's obviously quite low grip. Really rutting up on the brakes into the hairpin right, and then straight away into the hairpin left, and on all the way through the corner and on the way out. Now we start the uphill climb. There you go, it's Jari Matti just going down a gear.
A couple of seconds off the pace set, doesn't matter. He's got a big old gap to hold on to second place.
The square right, and then we head left, and now we start to work our way back downhill the other side. We've done the major climb.
The scenes of Toyota watching on there. The boss is obviously coming through with obviously Kai, we heard from earlier, has stepped up to look after the team this weekend. I mean, it's rough old day. We're looking so strong for them, on for a triple podium finish. I mean, it's
just getting a bit offline there through that left hand on the way out of there. Jari Matti just getting bounced out of the ruts and just getting offline. Really want to get the car tucked in. You can use the camber of the natural camber of the road there to try and help you. That'll give you good grip. That's going in the direction you want. The road's sloping in the direction you want it to there. It's sloping towards the apex of the corner, so you can attack it a little bit more. Jari Matti doesn't. This is the corner I'm talking about. That's the one I'm talking about. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's just a depth of field of the camera, but every time it looks like they're just going to collect that bail. But Jari Matti just cruising to what looks like will be a sure podium finish in the WRC2 class in Finland. He's just got that tricky final little section to negotiate. He hasn't taken any risks through here. He's going to be so gutted for Kalle Rovanperä.
Who's held him off. Let's hear from Jari Matti.
Jari, it's great to see you smiling after what I'm sure has been a challenging day with what's happened with Elvin and especially Kalle dropping from the lead out there today. But it's a first WRC2 podium for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's been a bit sad day for the Toyota, I have to say. Really sad to see our boys retiring, but it is motorsport and it's hard sometimes, you have to accept that. But at the same time, it's a bit controversial because feeling is really great. I mean, we expected to be here inside top 5, that's the target. We are getting second and the first time on the podium in the WRC2, and I think overall like 6th overall in the rally. So last year 5th, this year 6th, so not bad. So maybe I could drive more, but I need to ask my boss if I can get more drive. I could drive more, but I need to ask my boss if I can get more drive.
Do you think you'll be allowed to?
My chance chances are not so good.
Yeah, I think he's a bit busy with the day job, isn't he? Yeah, quite right. He did actually finish fifth last year. Now sixth overall. It's been such a strange weekend, hasn't it? So Oliver Solberg, Chenny, another great... I mean, he basically slammed the door shut on Jari Matti, who was his closest rival. Another great performance and set to take a big jump in that championship standings. Obviously, he's now done one more than Sami Pairi, who's obviously been in Rally 1. I think it's going to be a 28-point... Well, it will be a 28-point lead. It was 3 before, wasn't it? So... interesting finale to this championship now.
Yeah, Oliver remains the favourite. Now, we know that other people have got more rallies in hand to potentially close the gap, but you have to look at the way that Oliver's driving. You know, he remains for me the absolute favourite to win this championship. He's driven so well, so maturely, and I was speaking to him yesterday, and he said, Chenny, I wasn't on it at all, that I can drive the car quicker if I want, I'm just being sensible. And I don't think he was lying, he had no reason to. He's just driven so maturely, and I do think there is an extra few percent in there to really pull out of the bag if he needs to. So, for me, Oliver Solberg deserves this victory this weekend. He's driven well, the car has been working well for him, and, you know, shame that his TopSport teammates, Gus Greensmith, unfortunately, technical issues with that car, and Gus wasn't able to continue. But Oliver is able to make the car work for him. The car's working for him, or his car's working for him, and yeah, doing a good job. And for me, remains the prime championship favourite.
I'll tell you what, and if you were Sami Pairi, of course he's not competed here while Oliver's taken a 25-point lead. Sami's got one in hand now. I don't know if he can manufacture it that way, but if you were Sami, I'd be looking to do one of the rounds that Oliver's not doing, because he's got one in hand, because he's taken a 25-point jump, if you see what I mean, because Sami's not competing this weekend.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. But they are now at... Sami is now, and this is no disrespect to Oliver at all, because he should be in a Rally 1 car. I'm sure we'll see him at the top flight, absolutely. But Sami's now... Toyota have made the point of investing a little bit in Sami Pairi's career. So I think the WRC 2 Championship is now kind of second in his focus. He wants to be in Rally 1 cars. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen anytime soon as a full-time gig, but as in for the rest of the year, but that's coming, so that's what they're focusing on. Yes. Oliver Solberg's focus is the WRC 2 Championship.
No, absolutely, and that is a 5th WRC 2 win. I'm sure he'll jump out of the car. Great job too.
Tell you what,
as always, for Elliot Edmondson.
He's done what his old man couldn't do, and they stick it on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, I checked actually the last.
Got to have a little dig at Petter, haven't I?
No. Yeah, well done, boys. And funny that you got Jari Matti, actually Petter's old teammate, wasn't he? I think the first year Jari Matti won, to give it some context, in 2010, Petter, Solberg Senior, was 4th. I think that was in that privateer Citroen, the yellow Citroen.
Yeah,
great job anyway from Oliver and Elliot.
That's a big smile. Oliver, congratulations. Being congratulated as well by Jari Matti Latvala, your 3rd win of the season. Such a dominant win in WRC2. Well done.
Thank you. It's a fantastic feeling. It means a lot to get a congratulate from Jari. You know, it's been a great fight, and it's cool to drive against him like he did against my father. You know, so it's been a great weekend, and big thanks to the team. Always car is good. You know, mechanics do a top job all the time, pushing me into service the other day. So it's been a long weekend, but fantastic to have another win.
Yeah, that's a good point. He got very, very lucky the other day. He had an alternator issue. The mechanics pushed the car into service. They got him back out again. He was very, very lucky. But as we look at the M Sport coat doing more than just keeping people dry. But yeah, great for Oliver Solberg, and to see the Solberg name just continuing to shine in the World Rally Championship. You know, Petter, Pernilla, and Oliver doing a lot for our sport.
Absolutely. So we move on to Rally 1 then. Congratulations to Oliver. Greg Munster returning today, as I mentioned at the top of the show. We saw it, didn't we? That's a huge off. And yeah, I mean, you saw it when it first came in. I saw it when they were halfway through that rebuild. It is incredible what these teams can do with a car that's effectively screwed up into a ball, and then the next day it's back out there and up at full speed. Great job from the M Sport guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, in the post show that's coming up, I think there's coverage of the rebuild and everything. So you know, the car was rotten. You know, he'd taken every single panel off it. But the thing about these cars is because it's effectively now a tub, it's a safety cell structure, and then all the panels are bolted on around it. It's not the traditional platformed M Sport Puma. Now, if it was, I think it would have been way more of a mess. But now it's built around a complete safety cell. It's effectively, like I said, a carbon fibre tub, if you like. So the engineers and mechanics all looked at that car. The FIA came and got a good dose of looking. The cage was absolutely fine. So structurally, it was okay. So they set to, rebuilt it. Every panel was basically, well, every panel was replaced on it. You know, new intercoolers, new cooling package, everything like that on the front of it. And it looks like it was never involved in that mammoth off from the other day.
Yeah, it's great. Hats off to everyone at M Sport for that. Great. Greg was already very thankful, wasn't he, at the earlier stage ends. They do have that strange. You were wondering why that jacket was hanging out. That's a right rear window just popped out the previous stage, isn't it? It's a strange one. So it's a 5:24.3 then for Greg, and he does make it to the finish, albeit with a little bit of assistance from the team. There's Rich Milliner watching on. Fastest time through here earlier. Oh, it was a different stage, wasn't it? Of course, it was the small loop, so that's not going to be a very good comparison.
2 laps.
I think that'll be a lot quicker. Thought that looks a bit strange. Anyway, Asapaka Lappi doing a good job for the team in terms of Super Sunday standings today.
Brilliant job from EP. Another man who should have had a result. Really, it's been bad luck that's gone against him rather than a lack of pace. And you can see he's continuing to push on. Let's see from Gregoire.
Jacket fixed on the rear window there. I've seen that before. You've done the job out there today. I know it was a setback yesterday, but how are you feeling about the rally as a whole?
Yeah. Difficult to say. I think it's always difficult to do Finland in the Rally 1 for the first time, but sometimes we're okay. We were a bit struggling with the rain as well, and then that mistake on Saturday is a shame because would have liked to do Payala and Unimpuya with that car, but okay, mechanics did an amazing job to fix the car so we could be back here today, so thanks to them, and now a small break to come back stronger in Greece.
Yeah, we do have a bit of a break now. Until early September, we'll be heading down to the famous Acropolis. So, just a reminder, Lappi, in terms of Super Sunday, this is the all-important standings at the moment. He's just 4 tenths down on Ogier, 7 points for the top spot, 6 for second. So, obviously, Lappi's focused on doing what he can for Hyundai. You can see Christian Loriot there at the bottom of your screen watching on. Of course, with those two Toyotas going out, it's put a whole different complexion. Toyota were set to take a massive jump forward in the manufacturer's standings, but maybe not well, certainly not the case. I don't know quite work out how it's going to work out in the permutations once you get the wall power stage into it, but certainly it's worked out better for Hyundai, and Lappi playing a big part in that. And if he can stay ahead of Ogier, get ahead of Ogier, that will be another bonus.
Yeah, I'm sure the word from team management at Hyundai will have been, hey, listen, EP, we've given you the car, go out and get the job done and absolutely wring the neck of it. We've got nothing to lose now. Let's go for this. And the job is to try and catch Sebastian Ogier and steal those points for Super Sunday. When it's just 4 tenths in it, they'll have just said to Esapeko, throw everything at this, and it'll put the pressure on Sebastian Ogier a little bit. Seb will be watching this. He'll know the time. They'll know the target time that they've got to work towards, because he will be the last. Obviously, as now rally leader, he'll be last into the stage.
Well, I was going to say as well. Obviously, rain coming down. Potential ruts, is there potentially an advantage being earlier in?
I actually think from a rut perspective it's probably more of a disadvantage right now to Esapeka, because I think it's still cleaning from the way the WRC2 cars have come through. You know, EP and Gregoire have basically been cutting a new track or just refreshing the lines for the Rally 1 cars, should we say. So it sort of goes both ways, BK. Yeah. Once you start to get really deep ruts, then that's a disadvantage to Sebastian as well. So, you know, it's so hard to read the stages in these conditions.
We saw him bouncing out. He doesn't really want to think about ruts too much.
Do you see what I mean about that mail?
But was just going to say, ruts have not been his friends, have they? It was ruts that ended his hopes the other day. He got bounced out of them on that really wet and wild Friday. But certainly looking really strong compared to Munster, as I guess you'd expect. 9.5 seconds up in the last split at 7.7. That's a really good run, and let's see, as you say, difficult to tell how the stage is going to deteriorate at 5:13.7. And yeah, disappointment for EP. Not what he hoped for on his home event, but he's certainly come back with a bang since he's returned.
Really, really unfortunate what happened to him, you know, on day one with the car damaged, because up until that point he was bang on it. You know, he was right there.
Was that Taka's? I know Taka's family live nearby, don't they? Sorry, well, they live in Ivascula. I'm not sure if that was Taka's family there. Maybe. They would certainly normally attend this weekend. There's Esa-Pekka.
EP, it looks like you've certainly given it a go in there. I know you must be terribly disappointed about this weekend. Could you share some thoughts with us at the end of your home rally?
Yeah, for sure. When you retire, it doesn't matter which rally, you get disappointed. But yeah, it's the most important one for me personally. But it's part of life as well. When you drive on the limit, we saw on the last one how it is. You know, it can be so. You don't actually do anything wrong, and then in the end you retire. So felt really, really bad for Galle. I mean, I physically felt horrible on the road section when I heard this, and yeah, it's a big shame. But yeah, today we did what we could. I can be very satisfied for Sunday.
How about your love for the sport? Is it still there?
It's still there.
And do we see you again this year?
If nothing has changed, you should, yeah.
When?
Not soon.
Chile?
I would.
That'd be my guess.
Yeah, if I was going to guess any of them, I'd say Esa-Pekka would be primed for Chile. Obviously, referring to so nice. It's, the sportsmanship in rallying is you know, it just flies high, and I think what he was referring to there about Kalle Rovanperä, and he was physically feeling sick. We were all feeling numb because there was absolutely nothing Kalle could have done about that situation. He was a total passenger, as Thierry just gives his glasses a bit of a wipe.
Yeah, he's preparing, of course. It's not just Super Sunday, remember, we are into the Wolf Power stage, and at the moment it's advantage lappy, but Taka at 4.5 kilometres, just a tenth of a second up. Remember, 5 points for the best time in this individual stage, as well as the 7 available for the best times through all of Super Sunday.
It's really starting to rut up, PK, isn't it? We saw the car bouncing around from the heli there. But again, Taka's job as well is just, from Toyota now, he's forced to just go flat out.
But also, remember, he's third in the Super Sunday standings, but Taka, remember, not nominated for manufacturer points. That was Ogier, Evans and Rovanperä. So, yes, he'll get points for himself, and I guess he'll want to stay ahead of Neuville to try and take points away from Neuville, and there's so many permutations to consider.
The thing, his job is to make sure that Thierry Neuville doesn't get ahead of him in Super Sunday and take points away from his rivals. It's only 1.3.
Yeah, he's 1.6 behind Ogier, 1.3, as you say, ahead of Neuville.
So that 1.3 swing, he's got to go flat out to stop Neuville, and also to try and take points away from Thierry, because it's not like he's stealing points from Elfyn Evans, is it, anymore?
No, exactly, yeah, it's a very good point.
I mean, in the power stage, so he's got to go flat out to try and...
And it's working, look, 4 temps up now at 7.7 kilometres. He was 1.2 behind Lappy in Super Sunday. He's beaten him in the Wolf Power stage. Now that, to my maths, puts him on an identical time in Super Sunday. That'll have to go down to the hundredths there. I've got them on an identical time of 21:02.4 on Super Sunday. He's beaten him in the Wolf Power stage. At the moment on my screen, it's got Lappy ahead, so that tells me if that's come down to hundredths. I'm not sure how we calculate that, if it comes down to the better time in the first stage of the day. Anyway, it's close. Here's Taka.
Rebecca, that's quickest through so far by 1.1 seconds. It's been a tough day for the team. Oh, you're not happy about that at all, are you?
Yeah. I don't know what to say.
He's got it for
Sorry,
Sally.
my side on Friday, for sure. I just feel Kalle. Yeah. But yeah, we try to get there, and life is going on, and the rally is running, so yeah. I try to do better job for the team next time. This is definitely I need to do.
You seemed quite disappointed when I told you were fastest through here.
But EP Sunday points, I am probably 1 tenth behind the EP. Or
I think I actually heard that you're equal.
Huh?
I think I heard that you're equal.
Then I'm not so bad.
I'm not going to say for sure, but...
Okay, let's see. Thank you.
Yeah, we all feel the same sympathy towards Kalerov and Pera, and I think Kalle's attacker's right to be a bit disappointed because he was another man whose pace was right there. Just a silly mistake on day one, just the car over-rotating, ripping the rear right corner off the car. Again, this feels so long ago, doesn't it? There's been so much drama this weekend. But here we go. There's that bail I'm talking about.
Oh, you were...
Yeah, and Sammy
It wasn't just an optical illusion. They were getting that close.
You
wow.
do get very close to it. So Sammy Pyrie, but the good thing is he's just given it a nudge just away from the side of the stage. So a little bit more room to play with for the rest to come through.
Yeah, it's been quite a weekend for Sammy. He's been a big rock there on that left side. And you're wondering why he's not appearing in the Super Sunday standings. We'd have thought he might be up there, but he had an off-road excursion on the very first stage this morning. Just took a little detour through a field, and it's been a wonderful weekend. He's taken his first ever WRC stage win on his Rally 1 debut, and he's set for a top 4 finish. Incredible stuff from Sammy this week.
Got to make sure you keep that car in the line, brake in the line. And then this is where you're all a bit of a passenger in those ruts, and it is getting worse.
Yeah, we don't know when we're going to be seeing Sammy and Eddie Malkinen next in a Rally 1 car. I just know that we will be, but they've put on quite an eye-catching debut here.
Oh, yeah, that's really starting to rut up now, PK.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky then for these later runners. Still got Formo, Neuville and Ogier to come. So important, especially for Ogier. Sorry, for Neuville, well, and for Ogier now. He's gone from being a dark horse to being right smack bang in this championship fight now as our 8-time champion. Puts a very different complexion on the end of the season than I think we were expecting a couple of rallies back. Well done, Sammy Pyrie and Eddie Malkinen. Wonderful debut at the sports top level on their home events. Fought through adversity. Incredible drive, Chenny.
Yeah, congratulations to them both. They absolutely deserve another seat in a Rally 1 car. And I'm sure that's going to happen sooner rather than later. What a weekend of ups and downs it's been for them. Adrian Formeau now has just 8.7 kilometres between himself and a podium. Let's hear from Sammy.
Sammy clearly giving it a go in there. A little touch of a hay bale, but look, you are the best placed Finnish driver at Rally Finland. You have a lot to be proud of, and a stage win you can take with you.
You mean here? Oh, no, yeah.
Earlier on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, first of all, just huge thanks for the Toyota team. It has been just an amazing weekend for me. I've been trying to enjoy as much as ever possible, and I think on some of the stages we managed to do it quite nicely. And yeah, another thing is that we learned a lot. So yeah, just a big relief to come to the finish. But maybe on the other hand, I was not hoping for the rally to end, because I was enjoying so much. But thank you, everyone. Thank you.
And when's the next time?
I hope very soon, but Yeah, you should ask someone else.
Maybe we should ask him.
Yeah, ask him.
Yeah, ask the boss. Yeah, it's funny. Perfect timing from Jari Matti there. Yeah, as you say, it's going to be kind of difficult for him, isn't it, to reset and get back into WRC2 mode. But yeah, it'll be great to see him back. Meanwhile, Adrien Fourmeau, incredibly after everything that's gone on, he's on for a 4th podium, Chenny, of the season.
Yeah, you know, he's kept himself out of trouble and had real issues with the car at the start of the rally. They've dialed all that out, got it where it needs to be, and he's kept himself completely out of trouble. There's been places where the Puma's worked really well and places where it hasn't. I think it's been on the back foot a little bit in terms of top speed, and as we all know, Rally Finland is a power rally. But the key thing is, you know, if you're going to finish on the podium, first thing you've got to do is finish. With the loss of Kalerov and Pera and Elvin Evans and other people making mistakes around him, that's something he hasn't done. You know, Adrien hasn't been making errors this weekend, and ultimately that consistency has been rewarded as he makes his way towards a podium. We're not there yet, but we're getting ever closer.
Yeah, that bumper cam, just having it does give you a closer look. Not as rutted, I think. We're both fair to say a little bit surprised. I think this soft service not quite as rutted as maybe we expected, which is good to see. Rich Millen watching on will be really proud once again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think mid-corner, it's all through here where the ruts are really appearing. In the straight stuff, it's not too bad. You can see it really clean and tidy there. But once you get to the corners where the cars are really digging in, you can start to see the ruts just starting to appear, particularly that long, sweeping left-hander we were in beforehand. Just got to be careful, you just don't get bounced out of them.
That's a reminder, in the Power stage at the moment, it's advantage Taka Katsuta, Taka Lappi, 1.1. It's a 5.12.5 that Fourmeau is aiming for. You can see there, he's 1.3 down on the Japanese driver. Unlikely to trouble that. He might get himself an extra point or two. He can keep up this momentum. Super Sunday as well. I think he's set to get a couple of points. He's currently 5th coming into this final stage. Very tentative through that last corner, but he does get through, and it is a 4th podium of the season for Adrien Fourmeau. Great job as well, of course, from Alex alongside him. There's just a confirmation on the right of your screen. It's currently still advantage Katsuta. Fourmeau slotting into 3rd place in the Wolf Power Stage standings. Important 9 kilometres or so ahead for this man.
Adrien, that is your 4th podium of the season, and it comes at Rally Finland.
I'm really pleased that it ended up like that, because that was so difficult start for us with no testing, no preparation. So pleased that we go up to the podium. You know, it's the Olympic Games in France, and I think there were probably two medals for the French today, so on the Rally Finland. So it's quite interesting. It's quite good for us, and yeah, the 4th one, it's always good, especially here in Finland.
Yeah, a bronze medal for Adrien Fourmeau and potentially a silver medal to come for this man, Thierry Neuville. I mean, it's quite remarkable what he's on for here, Chenny, considering he's not really been happy in this car for the last few days.
No, I mean, we've been physically able to see it. It's been quite tail-happy, hasn't it? And, you know, he's been having to try and drive around that problem. Cyril Abiteboul was talking about it as well at the top of the show. But, you know, when you can physically see it on the onboard, when you turn in, the back of the car just gets a bit snappy, gets a bit away from you. You know, you find yourself just correcting all the time and leaving time behind in the stage. But again, PK, he might not have had the fastest car this weekend, but he's kept it between the trees. And that's what you have to do. And that's what you have to do to win championships. And, you know, once again, from opening the road and from, you know, with all the conditions, the difficult conditions that he had to face, and I think as well, and Cyril confirmed that, it compounded the issue that he had with the setup of the car, just made it worse, the inconsistent conditions. You know, you can't take anything away from Thierry Neuville. He's had a good weekend, he's driven sensibly, he's driven to his own pace, and it's paid off for him. So, for sure. I still think that car has made a massive step forward from where it was last year. I think when we get to the tight, twisty stuff, it'll really start to shine again.
Acropolis will be interesting, won't it?
If anyone had said to him on Friday, you're going to finish rally second, he'd have no chance.
Yeah.
Well, look where we are.
Yeah, and he's set to make massive gains, isn't he, in that championship fight. Tanak 0 points, Evans 0 points after today, and that has not happened to any of this three all the way through this season with this new point structure. So that's why Thierry's set to make a big leap forward. I've got him on about 164 points. Ogier, remarkably, will be jumping up to second place in the championship as things stand. So it's gone from being a 3-horse race to very much a 4-horse race, but very much advantage this man. In the Super Sunday standings, Thierry was coming in 2.9 off the top spot. He's unlikely to get better there, and as you can see from those split times coming through in the Wolf Power stage, we've been expecting this to be, here we go, here's another one, and he's still down. That's half a second in it, Jenny. Just the last couple of Ks to go.
It looks like he's fighting the car quite a lot, doesn't it? She just looks like a handful. I'm sure he's giving it everything he can. .7 down.
Wow. He's got a smile on his face. So Wolf Power stage points not to be then. But he does slot into second place behind Taka. So that's potentially 4 points. But of course, we've got Seb Ogier. Christian Loriot likes what he sees. So potentially 4 points, 4 extra points in the Wolf Power stage, depending on what this pairing do. And he was in, what was he, 4th in the Super Sunday standings, which is also 4 points. So could be an extra 8. I mean, whatever happens now, it's gains, isn't it? So, you know, it's 1 point here or there. Let's hear from him.
Thierry, you look relieved to be at the end of this rally. Your second fastest so far through the power stage. It's also second place in the rally. A good outcome in terms of the championship this weekend. You did everything you could.
Yeah, to be honest, there's been a real roller coaster of emotion this weekend. So not only the stages felt like roller coaster, but the emotions were up and down, and has been a challenging weekend, of course, but I think we had a clever approach this weekend, knowing that, yeah, it was hard to fight with the Toyotas, and yeah, after our teammates' issues, it was important to bring home the points as well, so we had to have a clever approach, and yeah, just want to thank the team for a reliable car this weekend. That's really important in such tough battle, and I hope everybody out of the team can have at least a little bit of holiday, recharge the batteries, because the upcoming events are going to be tough.
Seb is looking to be your closest rival in the championship now. How do you feel about that?
I'm not surprised, to be honest. I'm not surprised, and that's why it was so important to finish here this weekend.
You think he's going to do the rest?
Definitely, yeah, for sure.
Come on, yeah. Sebastian Ogier. He's got to throw everything at this one, PK, now.
It's dead level at 4.5 kilometres, and that's compared to Katsuta, remember.
Remember, though, it's so tight in Super Sunday. We're talking about maximum points here. He needs to get maximum points for Sunday. He wants all those 7 for his championship campaign. Let's assume he's going to do the rest of the championship, and then 5 for the power stage. And it's so, so close. Nothing to choose between himself and Takamoto Katsuta at 4.5 kilometres. This is Sebastian Ogier squeezing every single ounce of performance out of that car, and I'm telling you, I think the stage has deteriorated as well.
Yeah, and that's for the Wolf Power stage, Chenny. In the Super Sunday standings, Lappi, remember, his closest target, 4 tenths behind at the first split at second split at 4.5 kilometres. Seb is 1 tenth up on Lappi, so that's another potential point he could take away if he can keep that up, but it's going to be mighty close. Another heroic drive here from our 8-time champion. It's been a miserable day so far for Toyota in that last stage, but can Ogier give them something to cheer and put himself right back in the hunt for a 9th championship? He's only doing a part campaign, remember, this year. He's not supposed to be in this title fight. By the end of this stage, he will be very much no longer a dark horse. He is hunting down Thierry Neuville.
We're about 35 seconds away from the end of this stage. Keep it neat, keep it tight. He's lost time.
2.2 down.
2.2 down. That's what I'm saying. Now, I didn't see him make a mistake, but I really feel like the stage conditions are just moving away from him. There was a long sweeping right-hander that was very, very rutted. He got a little bit offline there, but that didn't cost him 2.2 seconds. This changes everything.
Yeah, it's also going to cost him in the Super Sunday standings. Lappy could now be about to leapfrog Seb in this final stage. It's only a couple of points, but it's so crucial now. No, he's not going to do it in the Wolf Power stage. 3.1, I think you're right. It's just deteriorated too much. The Wolf Power stage will go to Taka Katsuta. I think the Super Sunday standings are going to go to Esa-Pekka Lappi, who's done a great job for Hyundai on this last day. I mean, it's a dead heat, isn't it, between Lappi and Katsuta? But it is, what isn't under argument, a 61st win, let's not forget, for Sébastien Ogier, for second in Finland. It's taken him 11 years to get back on the top step, but clearly a disappointing day for Toyota generally. I think that's why we're seeing this slightly...
He'll be gutted for Kalle Rovanperä as well, and he'll know the stage slipped away from him at the end. He gave that everything. It's been a difficult weekend for Toyota, there's no question about it, and listen, he's going to enjoy the win, but you have to... I mean, you look at the faces down there, they know that this has been... They've won the rally. They've won Rally Finland.
It's just, that's what's strange, isn't it? But
those long faces, and I understand it. This should have been, it was so close, PK, to being a 1-2-3.
Yeah. And the first home win for 7 years. So many things have changed. They were on for...
It's bittersweet, isn't it?
That's the phrase, exactly that. Let's hear from him.
Seb, first of all, congratulations on winning Rally Finland. It's been a while since the last one, and it's clear to see how gutted you are for your teammates today. It's been a tough one for the team, but still, it's a win for you here. Well done.
Yeah, it's hard to really smile right now. Of course, a win in Finland is always nice, but that's not the way we would like to have it. Very sorry for Kalle and Jona. They were really having an amazing pace the whole weekend. Quite unlucky on this stone on the road this morning for them. So it's a big shame, but that's the way it is in rally. For us, we lost the win in Sardinia with bad luck. Today we get one a bit lucky. That's motorsport.
You move into second place in the Drivers' Championship. Does that mean you're going to do the rest of the season?
I have to see, but it looks like I have no other option.
Well, it's a good option, right?
I don't know. It's not my priority anymore, but we'll see.
I mean, he's supposed to be a family man. I don't need to be chasing down these championships. I've been doing that for a decade. I'm sorry, Seb. I'm not sure what the numbers are exactly yet, but he's certainly, as Molly said, up into second place. And, yeah, well, we know he's been entered in Greece, I believe that's fair to say. And 4 rounds to go. He's got a sniff of a 9th world title. Let's just run you through the numbers. A lot to absorb over the last couple of hours. It is Taka Katsuta who takes that Wolf Power Stage victory. Well done to Taka after a difficult weekend. Thierry gets a crucial extra 4 points. Just 7/10 of a second did it. Lappi as well, finishing strongly. Another 3 points for the team as well, as much as anything. For Mo, also getting a benefit there. Ogier just settling. And, yeah, you can understand those slightly... less than normal enthusiastic celebrations at the end, because it was, though, a 61st win for our 8-time champion, his second win in Finland. It's a 91st win for Toyota, and their near dominance at their home events continues. And let's just get confirmation. What a change to this leaderboard over the last couple of stages then. It's Ogier who takes the win by 40 seconds from Neuville. Adrien Fourmeau getting that 4th podium of the season. Only 4 of our Rally 1 cars made it to the finish in the top position. Sami Päiri getting a 4th place finish.
El apoyo